Hey gang, we are in South Central Ohio today, and what you're viewing here is about a month and a half, maybe 2 months after it happened. Why? Because today's just after Labor Day and I'm saving this for Halloween. So let's go. We are at a cemetery called Woodland Cemetery. Check this out. It's really old, and we are in Ironton. You're gonna love this one. Let's go. Very exciting. And we are in. Hey gang, I want to start by thanking one of our viewers and subscribers, Anna Jean Bailey, who suggested we come here to see this really interesting angel, sculpture of an angel, actually called the Slapped Lady. But it's got a mysterious and a little bit of a scary story, so we're going to take a look. Now here in Ironton, a really interesting town. It goes back to the year it was founded in 1849 by a guy named John Campbell, and he was an iron ore manufacturer. Pig iron is basically the raw ore or the unmanufactured metal, and he picked this spot because we have the big river here, and they could transport the iron ore down the river in barges, and they moved a lot of iron here. In fact, starting with the Civil War, you look at the USS Monitor, first all-metal ship, we know about that. That came from here. And we have World War I, we have World War II, and the battleships. We had France, we had England getting orders from here, and of course the US government. So this was big iron country happening here, and it had a big effect. It was probably one of the top places as a supplier. Also, interestingly, it was a hot stop for the Underground Railroad coming from the south, of course, and it was said that John Campbell himself was hiding and helping the slaves that were heading, on the Underground Railroad, stop to stop. So a lot of history here, and we're at Woodland Cemetery, what we see here, and there are a lot of old gravestones. Of course, we're in the older section, so let's take a walk and we'll end up at the Slapped Lady, and we'll talk about her story. Yeah, you can see there are some amazing monuments here. And you look at this one, it says William Means. It's a massive, massive cross. That's got to be, it's got to be 20 feet high. So let's take a walk here. Yeah, let's talk about this story. The woman's name that we're going to be talking about is Osa Wilson, Osa Drummond Wilson. She was the mother of 6. She was actually born in April of 1877, and she was the daughter of James T. Drummond and Missouri Neal. Now, September 12th, 1894, when she turned 17, well, just after she turned 17, she was married to a man named Scott William Wilson, who was an insurance agent and a real estate agent. And they did pretty well. They were raising a family, and he was working out of the house, and they lived here on First and Chestnut Streets. I believe there's a factory here, there now. Or maybe that's gone too, but that is all not in existence anymore. Now, sadly, on January 26th of 1911, she fell ill. She was 33 years old. And under the care of a Dr. O'Neill, who was treating her, about a month later, on February 25th, 1911, she passed away, sadly. Very sad. It was a very sad day. Quoting her death notice, and I'll read it, pull this out here. It said, "The spirit of Mrs. Scott W. Wilson was called from the weary struggles of this world to receive its heavenly reward early Saturday morning after 4 weeks' illness from a complication of diseases. No hope of her recovery has been entertained this past week, but the knowledge could not soften the blow when it finally fell. Her life can be well cited as an example of the highest type of home-loving wife and mother, ever a faithful, loving helpmate, and the most devoted of mothers. Her loss is almost unbearable to the sorrowing husband and the 6 little children who have lost their best earthly friend." Now, very interestingly, her husband, within a year of her passing away, Osa, he remarried. And he went on to become a very successful, obviously, businessman here. He wasn't working out of the house anymore. And he was a notable guy here in town. Why is that important? Why is it important that we talk about that he got remarried right away? Well, we're gonna go over that. For anyone wondering, he died on November 6, 1929. So he lived a decent life. Now we're approaching the statue. It's up ahead beyond this mausoleum. And it has some really interesting qualities to it. As I drove by, I could see some of the, I'll call it sinister sinister effects, and we're going to get a close-up of it. But just to give you a feel, it was basically said that she had died under mysterious circumstances. In fact, it was said that her I don't know if this is true or not, but it was said that her husband slapped her in the face, and she was pregnant with their 7th child, and she went flying down the stairs. And that's how she died. But of course, the official record says she died of diseases. So who knows for sure, but you know, thus the slap in the face. That's where that story started. Her husband was never questioned about Osa's death. And you'll see here that it is said that there is kind of the permanent form of a slapped hand on her face, where you can see where somebody slapped her, and on her neck. You can see it right up ahead here is the monument. It is also said that in the winter, the coldest winter day, basically right here, that her stomach, where the baby would be, is warm to the touch. Look at that. I'll kind of step back here and give you and we'll get a close-up. We'll get a general view here. And if you look at her face and her neck, it definitely looks like the right side, or her left side, there is discoloration. Well, the discoloration is gone. It's white, so you have to wonder what's going on here. And there you can see the inscription: in memory of my beloved wife, Osa Wilson, April 18, 1877, February 25th, 1911. Let's take a look. What do you guys think? Something is going on. In fact, if you look here, and I'm not going to touch, there's like a pink, and I kid you not, I don't know if this is going to turn out on camera, but it is pink, like flesh that has been hit and is red. Now, did someone come here with chalk and do that? I don't know. But I'm taking a close look. I don't want to touch it. I'm tempted to rub it with my wet finger. I'm gonna do that because I'm really curious. It's not being disrespectful. And it is still there, guys. It is pink. And now I am really starting to believe this story. Look at that. What do you guys think? I don't really see any other tone like that anywhere else on the statue. Her right hand is chopped off. Vandals, probably. And also left hand gone. Interesting, they're both smoothly extracted. You know, I come to think about if she was thrown down the stairs or slapped down the stairs, the last thing she would remember before she was killed, outreaching her arms and mangling or breaking her wrists, maybe. What do you think? I don't know. Maybe that's a little far-fetched, but that's what comes to mind. So, okay, well, that's the story of Osa Wilson. She died at 33 years old. Young. Rest in peace, Osa. Rest in peace.
Ah!